Hello again, YouTubers. I'm SpongeBob11 back here again on the SpongeBob channel for our review video of SpongeBob episode 66, Dunces and Dragons. The synopsis states, after a freak jousting accident at a medieval times restaurant, SpongeBob and Patrick are transported to a medieval version of Bikini Bottom. Dunces and Dragons is one of my favorite 22-minute SpongeBob specials because it involves a very interesting concept, but at the same time, it just fares better than many other 22-minute specials. I do want to note that there is an event that's based on the locales that is found in this episode within the SpongeBob's Idle Adventures mobile game, and playing that medieval event was a great experience, getting to interact with the characters and buildings of the Bikini Bottomshire era. The title is a play on the Dungeons and Dragons board game, and the episode begins with SpongeBob and Patrick arriving at the Medieval Moments restaurant. Patrick has a mutton-tastic moment, and they soon volunteer to be participants in the joust without understanding what their roles actually are. This results in SpongeBob and Patrick riding on seahorses, colliding into each other, and getting flung through the walls of the restaurant. They land in, well, Bikini Bottomshire, and are shortly surrounded and arrested on grounds that they are witches, because they literally just fell from the sky. I mean, for that era, it kind of does make sense, and the episode puts various characters into rather unique positions. This is one of the strengths of this episode. The first instance of this is Squidward, or should I say, Squidly. He's the royal fool but was thrown into the dungeon and is now accompanied by SpongeBob and Patrick. As a giant jellyfish dragon rains fire upon the kingdom, the three of them are then called to present themselves to King Krabs and his daughter Princess Pearl. Krabs is obviously stressed about the jellyfish dragon who is doing the bidding of the evil wizard Planktonomor, and Planktonomor wants to, well, take over the world, or at least take over King Krabs' kingdom, right? After a silly butt-shaking song blaming the king for everything going bad, Squidly, SpongeBob, and Patrick are all sentenced to death via the guillotine, only to be saved by King Krabs himself after being hit by the jellyfish dragon who seized Princess Pearl. So it turns out that SpongeBob and Patrick are part of this prophecy, falling from the sky and helping to vanquish Planktonomor and rescue the fair princess. This mix of fairy tale and medieval times was extremely well thought out and executed. No pun intended. Being manly men who kick themselves out of the castle, SpongeBob and Patrick are of course joined by Squidly on their quest, and they make a pit stop at a local blacksmith who initially mistakes SpongeBob for, I think it was a villager or something, but nonetheless, after that rather scary scene, SpongeBob gets knightly armor and a jellyfish net, and they continue on their way, running into the Dark Knight who guards the bridge across the lava trench, across of which lies Planktonomor's tower. This Dark Knight turns out to be Medieval Sandy, and after a quick demonstration of karate, Sandy is revived by Patrick's gargled water. Ew. It was funny and disgusting at the same time, but it worked. And there's this epic scene where SpongeBob literally chops Squidward in half. I thought that was really silly and funny as well. She does help the gang get past the tower guards, so, you know, there's quite a few epic scenes here, from the fear of not knowing the plan to crying like a baby on part of SpongeBob. They do make it in, and the hike up is insane. Honestly, I'm wondering how Planktonomor even makes it up and down the tower. Is there like an elevator that we just didn't see? I know elevators weren't a thing then, but, you know, being so tiny, he'll take forever to climb it, right? Or perhaps he just rides on the jellyfish dragon in and out of the tower, so yeah, maybe that's the case. Anyways, another memorable scene comes up very soon when, upon reaching the summit, SpongeBob asks for a glass of water, and Planktonomor whips out a bottle of still water and sparkling water. I didn't know they had plastic bottles in medieval times, but regardless, Pearl is freed, and the jellyfish dragon shows up and zaps them all, even Squidly, who tries to evade the dragon's wrath by singing it a cute but useless song. The jellyfish net also fails, and faced with imminent doom, Patrick wants some lunch. Yeah, I mean, I can't blame him. He wants the Krabby Patties that SpongeBob had packed, but the Jellyfish Dragon smells it and seizes it, loving the taste of it. This is when SpongeBob offers more patties to the dragon in exchange for not getting destroyed, and it works! Planktonomor is vanquished, and there is a victory celebration for the heroes. Unfortunately, Squidly plays the clarinet as badly as his modern-day counterpart, and a random fish throws a rock into his windpipe. He is forced backwards and scares the seahorses, who then launch SpongeBob and Patrick back into the sky. Somehow they end up landing on the jousting grounds in the Medieval Moments restaurant once again, but with Squidly in tow. I guess they discovered the means of time traveling. Either that, or Squidward was just playing Squidly at the Medieval Moments restaurant for like a couple extra bucks. So, plot deserves a 9 out of 10. Aside from the unexplained method of time traveling, this tale was phenomenal. There isn't much messaging I can actually derive from this episode. It was more of an entertaining episode. In terms of messaging, at most, I would say don't judge a book by its cover in relation to SpongeBob and Patrick being deemed as witches but ending up being the heroes. But honestly, that might be a stretch. I also have to compliment the character placement, the two most significant ones being Squidward and Sandy, the former being the musical one and the latter being a fighter. I just wish we could have episodes similar to this where SpongeBob and Patrick are sent to other time periods. One can dream, right? After all, there's the Obstacle Odyssey 2 time travel game with that concept, and I also enjoy that game. The plot is definitely self-contained, but it is a role model for what an amazing self-contained plot can be like. Animation gets 9 out of 10, from the fast pace and rather scary initial joust to the jellyfish dragon destroying the village and its bowling alley, and even the fight with the Dark Knight. The animation had me on the edge of the seat all episode long. Absolutely brilliant. Unique Characteristics gets a 10 out of 10. Even after over 15 years of this episode's existence, there's really no episode just like it. And the writers managed to fill this episode with so many memorable lines, from Mutton-tastic to the eyelash thing and other scenes. We had a song in the form of Squidly's King is Bad tune, SpongeBob being a knight, taking down a giant jellyfish with a jellyfish net, and what seems to be the origin of the Krabby Patty being sold as a product. Plus, Plankton being the bad guy in the Middle Ages. Of course, he had to be a wizard with his crystal ball. This episode is definitely one of the most unique ones in the entire series in my view. Putting it all together, Dunces and Dragons is an extremely fun and unique episode to watch, and it gets 28 out of 30. This episode takes the number 2 spot in terms of my favorite season 4 episode rankings. So, yeah, what's number 1? You'll just have to find out. Keep watching. So that's all for this episode review video. What do you think of Dunces and Dragons? Let me know in the comments box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and, well, keep right here on Ultimate SpongeBob 101. I'll see you guys in the next SpongeBob video. Bye!